Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our reaction interview here for Beacon 23, Season 1, Episodes 1 and 2. This is a new sci-fi show based on the work of Hugh Howey, who also did Silo, which we really love covering here at the channel. If you are just jumping in right away and it's like, where is Beacon 23? It is on MGM Plus, which is the same service that had From that we covered here and we love so very much.
From is incredible, Silo incredible, and so far with Beacon 23, I'm very happy with what we've got.
I very much enjoy the concept. I think this show has so much potential. Like there's a
Mhm.
couple of things about the first two episodes that leave me a little bit uncertain, make me kind of feel like, okay, where exactly are we going with this? But that might just be because they're leading up to a much bigger payoff.
Mhm.
But I am a space nerd. I love all things related to, oh, we're out here on the edge of the solar system, the furthest reach of where humanity is currently going. I like the setting. Lena Headey is obviously great. It's cool to see her in a very different sort of role.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we're gonna get all into this. We're gonna talk about what's going for the show, what still needs some work, the big question marks that we have. But hit that subscribe button. We will be here throughout Beacon 23. We will be your beacon into better understanding this world. We can be a lighthouse to offer up
Okay.
all sorts of commentary. We really appreciate everyone who does subscribe. And by doing that, you help to support us to be able to make these videos where I say really terrible puns like this. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Okay, let's talk about Aster and Halen
Okay.
because as I was watching these first two episodes, especially that first episode, but it continued on into the second episode too, I was really like, I don't trust anybody. They don't trust each other. I feel like
Yeah.
everybody's lying. I can't tell, where I am. And I kept like jumping back and forth. We're like, oh, now I trust Aster. Okay, now I don't. Now I trust Halen. Now I don't. And I was just like, nobody's reliable. And as a viewer, that was really exciting for me, where I felt like, for a moment, I feel like I know this person. I feel like I'm with this person. This is going to be my person. And then it's kind of like, oops, no, maybe not. They're lying. Oh, maybe this is my person. Oh, no, they're also lying. It was really fun having two characters that are both completely unreliable narrators to us of who's telling the truth, who's not telling the truth, and who we can rely on. Which the answer right now is nobody.
Yeah. I don't know. We don't know either one of these characters still because it's basically set up where Aster shows up at the beacon claiming to be one thing, and Halen is not even really a beacon keeper, which is what, theoretically he should be presenting himself as because he's at the beacon. Actually, supposedly that's what someone there should be doing, but neither one of them are who they should be based on the position that they're in. And then within these first two episodes, you basically unravel a lot of this pretty quickly. That with Halen, he seems to have been a quote unquote replacement, though he's not really a replacement for this guy Solomon who was there before, who is now dead.
Yeah, and it's still a question mark on really what happened there, because it seems like Solomon was there collecting these mineral deposits that are unknown, that nobody knows what they are. Aster's there to get them.
Yeah.
Who is she getting them for? At first she's kind of like, oh, I'm here with the government, and then she's like, oh, actually I'm here with QTA. Who's QTA? We don't really know yet, but clearly they want those rocks, because
Yeah.
in that second episode they sent a whole group of raiders there to also get those rocks.
Yeah.
So it's just like, that's what Solomon was doing. Halen was there for a little bit of that. There's some kind of connection with him that we don't know yet, that is connected to those rocks, and something that happened to him that has really given him like severe anxiety, and just like he's really in his head, something that they haven't seen in, like, I think they said like 70 years, over 70 years, that they have like some sort of medication that helps with these types of situations, but he didn't take it.
Yeah.
So he's really been dealing with the after effects of whatever happened with Solomon, whatever happened with those rocks. And we don't know really what happened with Halen and Solomon in general, because yeah, Solomon is dead, But did Halen really kill him, or was it something else? I mean, if we believe Bart, the AI, who's just like the best character on the show,
Okay.
he's so salty, and he's just like, he does not like Halen
No.
at all. It's just like, he's a murderer, he did this, and Halen's just like, it's not exactly what he's saying. But again, who's lying?
Okay. I'm first time this season. I'm putting on tinfoil hat here.
Okay.
I got a theory.
Okay.
The rocks are poison, and I mean that's a rudimentary way to explain it.
I thought you were going to be like, I got a theory. Bart did it.
Okay. I'm not going yet into the AI did it. That we'll get around to that in like episode 5.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
no, it seems like Bart really was dedicated to Solomon.
Yeah, I think though there's something about these rocks in particular where in getting them, maybe there is some sort of long-term benefit that can eventually be extracted from them, but it's also like on the wrong hands, it can be poisonous. It can be it's sort of like, nuclear power plants can be very, very helpful, but then we also know what the downside of that is, and it can be extremely devastating and deadly. And there could be something similar to these rocks where Halen may have ended up getting Solomon on some level to either access them or find them or whatever it may be, and Solomon is now dead as a result of it. And Halen may be very worried about these, falling into the wrong hands. Bart may be sort of like, okay, Halen, you're responsible for what happened to Solomon. Even if you didn't kill him, you coaxed him into this. You had him like touch the rocks, whatever it may be. There's something not good about these rocks. I'm not getting my rocks off about these rocks.
Oh my.
Let's just put it that way.
Okay, well, here's the thing too about your theory about the rocks is that we know that Aster has touched the rocks, and the blue part of it, we've seen her with tweezers pulling it out, and as soon as it comes out, it hits the ground and it just disappears, which is kind of interesting. But if your theory is correct, is Aster now basically already on her way to being dead?
Yep. That is it's a pretty dark theory, and but the thing is that we don't know how long what the timeline of this would be, and we already know the Beacon 23 has a season 2, so
it does.
I'm assuming that whatever happens to Aster, it's not going to happen immediately, or that maybe Halen figured out some things while Solomon was suffering and he wasn't able to save him, but maybe he's going to be able to save Aster at the end of all of this because of what he already knows. But I just think that this show feels like it is dark, and it feels like it's emotional, and we're really diving into a lot of stuff with trauma and how you cope with that. And, Halen's a really broken person. And I think on some level now, he may feel a responsibility of, okay, I have to find a way to help Aster. And, maybe in doing that, maybe she's also going to be able to help me.
Yeah, I mean, the main premise of the show to me at this point is really about human connection, and how if you don't have human connection for a very long time, and that loneliness, that you just don't really know how to deal with that. I mean, we even had Halen sort of at the beginning trying to explain that his social skills just aren't there anymore. He hasn't seen another person forever, kind of thing. And by the end of all of this, because we see him keep being like, I just want to leave here. I just want to leave here. And the very last scene of the second episode, we have him sitting on the ground with Aster, where he's just like, I don't really necessarily want to leave here. I just want to be with somebody else. I want somebody with me. To which she doesn't say she's going to stay, but I mean, she settles sort of into his arm in a way that makes it feel like, okay, maybe she is going to stay if she can. We don't know enough about QTA, with the rocks, who else is going to come here. We don't know yet.
Yeah, there's still a lot of things that need to be answered. And I think for Aster at this point, we can sort of take this ending for episode 2 as, okay, she realizes that there's something potentially she can still get out of Halen. Maybe she does on some level care for him, or will come to care for him. But I think she's also seeing this as an opportunity, because clearly her work there is far from done at this point, at the end of episode 2. She still has a lot that she needs to try to figure out. And if she can offer something to Halen, like that, of course, is going to make him incentivized to want to help her further. Okay, this is helping to cure maybe a little bit of your loneliness. Then, I mean, also at the same time, if, my theory ends up coming out to be correct, if Aster's actually going to start dying now or start showing some symptoms of what's happened, that he's going to need to be there in order to care for her. So there is sort of this mutually beneficial relationship that could form a little bit more on this over time. It's just, how do they actually find a way to trust each other? Like, that's the question I don't have an answer to.
Yeah, because it was very well laid out in that first episode how much they can't trust each other and aren't trusting each other. They're lying about almost everything. Like, it's just not there for them. So by the time we get to episode 2, where we have the Raiders come in and Halen's actually trying to help Aster, I was like, what's the motivation for him to do this? Is it loneliness? Is it that he's trying to make sure that those rocks don't leave because he knows something further with them, like your theory sort of thing? Like, what's really the motivation? And by the time we got to the end of the episode, it seems like it's mostly loneliness. Yeah. But he still can't trust Aster. It's been very clear to him that she's not being honest with him. All these sort of like lies are all coming out as it's going on. It's like, oh, I thought you were with the government. No, I'm actually here with QTA. Oh, this is actually happening. It was just like, is anything are you even Aster? Like, what is happening here? And that's what makes their relationship really interesting to me, is that sort of, when he first showed up and she was like, are you Solomon? Yeah, I am. He's lying too. Yeah. How do they then get past these lies to get a little bit deeper? The Raiders, it's not enough of a situation for them to bond where it's like, oh, all is gone and forgiven. Yeah. Let's move forward with pure trust. It still needs to build.
The only thing that you can say at this point is, okay, well, maybe Aster is the lesser of two evils if you're Halen. And it's like, okay, at least she's not trying to do what the Raiders are doing. And that, I guess, is a little bit of a plus. Like, I'll be honest here. I liked episode 1 a good bit more than I did episode 2. Like, I feel like episode 1 was very much contained and felt almost like I was watching a play at various times, because it was mostly just these two characters, plus if you throw, the AI's Harmony and then Bart into the mix. But
Bart,
it's a very small ensemble. Yeah. It's very bottle episode-y. It's all in this like one contained space. I just didn't care about the Raiders at all in episode 2. I was just like, okay, why are we spending so much time with these people? I don't care about any of them. I'm fine.
Well, luckily they're all dead except for the son. So that worked out. I think the big thing about the Raiders was really to bring out the lie from Aster that she's actually working for QTA, and so are these Raiders. Like, QTA wants these rocks, man. I don't know what the deal is with these rocks, but they're like, Aster's taking too long. Raiders, go.
I am very, very concerned about QTA, because if my idea is correct here, then it's just sort of like, okay, either you're trying to reverse engineer a cure or trying to find some sort of other benefit out of these, or you're just going to use them for the most nefarious purposes possible. And the idea that you're sending in Raiders does not make me believe that you're up to good things. But this is the other question I have about QTA. You're kind of a terrible organization, because you just sent in Aster to do this job.
Yes.
It wasn't like she was there a long time before these other people showed up. It's like, are you guys not even giving her a minute to see if she can do this on her own? Like, why are you bringing in these other people? And it doesn't exactly seem like Aster and then this separate group had like a lot of conversations in advance. It's like, oh, you're going to do this. And I'm just like, no, that's not how it worked.
Yeah, and I mean, the Raiders did say, oh, hey, we were supposed to stay in this debris field. We were supposed to just get whatever was on this ship. And one of them went rogue to be like, let's just go see what's in the beacon. And it seems like the orders from QTA was to not go into the beacon. But I mean, with QTA sending them to, take the debris of whatever was going to happen with that ship and everything that was on it, clearly they're just out there collecting everything they can get their hands on. Maybe they thought the rocks were going to be in that ship.
I don't even trust QTA with their orders. So like, it's how much distrust I have with everything, because if you tell, this is basically what I'm trying to relate this to, where you tell somebody, oh, go and stand like, 100 feet away from this box of chocolate. And maybe you'll get like some chocolate will be thrown in your direction, but you can see the box of chocolate that is just there. You're gonna run to the freaking chocolate. It's just like you're gonna send these other people out here to do all these sort of things if they know that this beacon is there, and if they know that there's some sort of potential resource there or something that you need, like, okay, you're really gonna count on them to do this? It's just like I don't believe whatever it is that they're selling. I also just don't understand how they're hiring these people, what makes all of them special and different. I mean, I guess I'm not supposed to, and that's just sort of the big thing out of these episodes is that we don't really have any answers to anything.
No, I mean, it didn't need to take the Raiders and the whole episode to just bring out the secret that Aster is working for QTA. Like, that didn't need to be this whole episode. They could have had the Raiders come in and have it like cleaned up by mid episode where enough has come out. Because, yeah, I didn't really care about them by the time they were all dying off. I was like, meh.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
The son gets away with a bunch of money.
Yeah,
Are we going to see him again? Who cares?
yeah, I don't know. I don't care. The whole core of this show is clearly about the relationship between these two people. And I'm sure there's going to have to be other people that show up or kind of navigate through this here or there. I don't think that the entirety of this season and season 2 is going to be these two characters. But I think the question that Beacon 23 really needs to ask itself is, we're bringing on, Spaceman Joe in episode 3. What is Spaceman Joe's purpose? What is Spaceman Joe going to do in order to get something out of these two characters? Like, I think that is going to be very, very important in trying to figure out how we further along this story. But I think this show has a chance to do something that's really unique, which is we don't have a lot of stories out there that are geared around mostly just two characters and sort of like the buildup of an emotional bond over time. And depending on how they play that out, it could be really fun to watch.
That's the thing. I mean, this beacon is, out in the middle of nowhere kind of thing. How many people are really going to be showing up here? And unless they're seemingly coming through QTA, I mean, it seems like not a lot of people are out that way anyways. So unless they keep sending people out, I'm okay that there's not going to be a whole bunch of people showing up at the beacon. We've got Harmony, we got Bart, we got Aster, we got Halen. And I feel like the mystery with these mineral deposits or whatever they're going to end up being and sort of what happened to Solomon, these are enough mystery that I am fine with a show that has 4 people in it, because already they brought in all these Raiders and I don't care about any of them. I'm back to the core 4. What is going on with these rocks? What is going to go on with their relationship? How is Aster actually going to end up staying at the beacon? Because I feel like she will. So what's going to happen? Is she going to like betray QTA? They're going to betray her? Is she going to get sick? Like, something has to happen to her to make her stay there with him.
Yeah, then they have to figure that out quickly, because otherwise in like episode 3 or 4, if she gets what she needs, there's no real incentive for her to stay there anymore, and that's just sort of it.
No, she's not staying to help Halen's loneliness.
No, okay.
I mean, and she also tried to already help that anyways, because when she made that deal, with one of the Raiders to be like, okay, listen, like, I'm going to give you this pod, you're going to take this money, you take your son, you're going to go, but you're also going to take Halen.
All right, well, we'll wrap this video up here, but thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, talking about Beacon 23.
Yep.
Hit that subscribe button. We will be here all season. Hopefully we get a little bit more in the way of answers before the finale. Like, I want to have something here before the very end of this. Don't drop it all at once.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that we're going to get a little more development with these core 4 in this next episode, where they start to really kind of build that trust together.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to our patrons as well. If you do want to see live streams every week about Beacon 23, we've got a link in the description below, so we very much appreciate you checking that out.
Thank you.
And we'll see you here next time.